The cancel culture has gone so unbelievably bad, it almost took away some of our favorite YouTubers of all time. But when did this happen? Why were they getting cancelled? And how did they refuse to get banned into the shadow realms forever? To answer that, let's start with a word from our first YouTuber on this list, who almost got cancelled for destroying 2 companies. For those of you who don't know, if you're ever looking for an unfiltered opinion on YouTube about the latest tech in the market, Marques Brownlee is the go-to guy. He spent more than 15 years posting video after video, from his college dorm room to now his $1 million studio, and as you can see, he went from humble beginnings with 0 subscribers in his room to now having over 18.7 million subscribers, which is as much as some of the biggest tech companies in the space like Apple with 19 million. So how is a YouTuber who never gets into any controversy or drama suddenly on the verge of getting cancelled? This all started on February 18th of 2024 when Marques posted a video about a car called Fisker Ocean, and according to him, this was the worst car he had ever seen.
So like there's some plastic where you might not expect it in a $70,000 car, but I'll forgive a little bit of that. HVAC controls here, I'm gonna give a thumbs up to that. Obviously there's some weird stuff still with touchscreen HVAC, and this is the weirdest car I've ever tried, or this is the quirkiest car that I've used so far, but I think it's just the worst car I've ever tested.
In this 20-minute long video, he tested the car and showed how much of a horrible experience he had with it. But what happened next was something that he would have never expected. Just a few months after he posted this video, the Fisker Ocean stock price came crashing down to an all-time low, and it's now on the way to filing for bankruptcy. And the entire company appears to be dead at this point. But this is not where the story ends, because then Marques uploads another review for what's called the Humane AI pin, which is a wearable AI assistant, and this seemed to be a clear and honest video where he discussed his experience with the device, except the video was titled, "The Worst Product I've Ever Reviewed." And as you can tell, this had a massive effect on the company's progress, purely because they were just getting started. So, in just a short span of time, the entire Twitter media started pointing fingers towards Marques. This particular tweet is what started all the drama, which indirectly says that Marques is what's responsible for the downfall of these companies. And at no one's surprise, almost 12,000 people on Twitter seemed to have agreed with the statement. People started saying that Marques was the one who bankrupted the entire company within just 41 seconds into this video.
In its current state, there's just so many things bad about it. It's so bad, in fact, that I think it's actually kind of distracting to like understand what the point of the device is as we go through it. So I'm gonna have to separate it out for this video.
So what is the actual truth? And is Marques really responsible for what happened? The bigger question is, how did Marques manage to escape such a horrible controversy that he's never experienced before? Let's take a look at this by zooming out of the picture. First, the stock price of Fisker did drop after the video, but the stock was in freefall for several months before. In the US, there's this thing where if a stock is below $1 for 30 days in a row, the company will get a warning that they have 6 months to get the stock price back up over $1, or they will soon be delisted from the stock market. And right around the time of Marques' video, Fisker had just received that notice. And if you're an investor, you'll know that this is exactly the kind of stuff that actually tanks the stock price. And secondly, Marques was far from being the only YouTuber to have a negative impression of the car.
Press the button. You have to push it all the way back in. Now, if you've been driving through some dirt, then it's going to be all over your hands. Not ideal. Don't know why it just doesn't do the whole thing electrically, like many other cars.
A lot of the features aren't even available. The infotainment is just so simple. There's nothing good about it.
And this is sort of what it's been like to live with the Fisker for these few months, in that they have good ideas and you can sort of understand the logic behind the way things are built, but the user experience is sorely lacking.
Now, as for the backlash from Humane AI, what you have to understand is that this wasn't a product for regular people. As a matter of fact, this small pin is just as expensive as an iPhone 14.
I tried to be as fair as possible and as informative as possible, but I'm also absolutely not about to sugarcoat or leave anything out to protect any company's $700 device with a monthly subscription. Not into that.
So needless to say, this deserved a proper review. And just like before, Marques wasn't the only one being disappointed with this pin. So you cannot completely blame the downfall of the company on him. And to the credit of Humane, their head of new media, Sam Sheffer, did call Brownlee's review honest and solid, saying further that the feedback is a gift for the company. But after people switching sides and nearly cancelling him, Marques had to make a response, and thankfully, this wasn't an apology.
One thing is definitely been clear and consistent throughout all of this, which is anytime the company goes under, you don't get those bad reviews without the product being bad to begin with, obviously.
Safe to say, Marques has quickly managed to reverse his own cancellation, but unlike Marques, this next YouTuber nearly became the victim of one of the craziest cancellation attempts of all time. But the strangest part of all of it is the fact that he knew this was coming. On January 29th of 2023, MrBeast released a brand new video, but this was unlike any other videos he had ever posted, because this video was about curing 1,000 people from being blind.
In this video, we're curing 1,000 people's blindness. It's gonna be crazy.
Most of us see the world like this. But here's the thing, 200 million people see the world like this. But I just made it one less.
Oh. Wow.
So the most obvious question was how, and in order to get the answer, people clicked on it as fast as they could, which is how this video reached a whopping 32 million views within just 24 hours, and is currently sitting at 179 million views. As most people were busy asking the question how, a lot of people were more interested in knowing the answer to why. All of a sudden, MrBeast was under a lot of fire. He was called out for attention seeking, brand building, faking publicity, being a demon, being an inside agent, and way more. What they didn't realize was that just 9 months later, MrBeast would post another video, which would make them convinced that he was pure evil.
This is the first of 100 wells we're gonna build in this video. Oh, water!
In this video, MrBeast and his team were building 100 wells in Africa to provide clean drinking water to over 500,000 people across several African communities. Once again, the sirens went off and people started accusing him of shaming the Kenyan government and for promoting the idea that Africa only relies on charity and the help of white male figures. In just 1 year, both of these videos landed MrBeast in hot water, and it seemed like the news of his cancellation was just around the corner. But almost all of his videos seemed to perform quite normally. In fact, the videos he had made after the controversy performed much better than the 2 videos in the first place. So why was every news article claiming that MrBeast is getting cancelled? If you look at the picture from above, you'll see a very deep and well-hidden motive. For the video in Africa, right before it came out, MrBeast tweeted this: "I already know I'm gonna get cancelled because I uploaded a video helping people, and to be 100% clear, I don't care. I'm always going to use my channel to help people and try to inspire my audience to do the same." And just like he predicted, MrBeast got cancelled. Well, at least according to Yahoo News reports. According to them, while American YouTuber MrBeast's goal was to provide clean drinking water for 500,000 people, activists say his actions shamed the Kenyan government and continue to stereotype that Africa is dependent on handouts. If we look at the actual quote here, it says that overnight this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all this attention. It's a little frustrating, but it's also understanding the nature of how the world is. And the person who made this quote praises MrBeast for putting the spotlight on this issue. But since Yahoo News did that, this caused a massive ripple effect, and it spread around on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all other social media platforms. People formed their own opinions. Some claim that MrBeast doesn't care about helping people, he's just doing it for clicks, views, and money, while others defended him, saying that helping people shouldn't be a problem. Despite this constant back and forth, there was this group of people that repeatedly said he was cancelled. And the reason is crystal clear. While Jimmy's actions overseas did cause a lot of backlash, it wasn't what almost caused his downfall. No, it was the video where he helped cure blindness for 1,000 people in the US, as he was paying for the removal of cataract for 1,000 people who were all blind because of it, but couldn't afford the surgery. This one single video put all the question marks on the American healthcare system, that the government should be the one doing that sort of thing, not some YouTuber with money. Twitch streamer and political pundit Hassan called it a deeply frustrating concept in one of his streams.
You watch this video and go, oh, how cute and how nice. I watched the video and I'm filled with rage.
What's wrong with you?
That we shut off access to a 10-minute procedure because we paywalled it and decided that like some people just simply can't get it. It is so insanely frustrating that it's up to like one YouTube guy to like decide to make content out of it, that like that people who are too poor can't just see. That's insane. Anyway, sorry. It's just like a deeply, deeply frustrating concept.
And that's how the trouble began. The idea was to spread the news around that MrBeast is cancelled, so much that people actually started to believe it and move on. Thankfully, people did move on, but not in the way they had expected. MrBeast didn't respond further than this tweet, and continued to make content as usual, and with time, this automatically stopped him from being silenced. But that is nothing compared to this next guy, who who had to reevaluate his entire life after nearly ruining his own career in the funniest way possible. One of the most drama-free channels on YouTube is LinusTechTips, who's another tech reviewer, and ironically he ended up getting both of his massive channels hacked. And the hacker started uploading deepfake videos of Elon Musk that were promoting a crypto scam. But this wasn't why he was in trouble. One day, during his own podcast, Linus claimed that he uses the hard R all the time.
I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, like 2002.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then because we didn't even, the term hard R didn't even exist.
There's a gift and a curse that comes with live streaming. If you make a mistake, there's not an undo button. So just like his co-host, everyone thought he was talking about the N-word and were ready to jump on Twitter, but here came the twist.
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
What? No.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No.
I think
That's
so.
the N-word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Since we've seen how many YouTubers faced major repercussions for using the racial slur, Linus was definitely tiptoeing over the line of getting cancelled without him even knowing it. But this is where it gets serious, because this next YouTuber lost a major deal with Disney and YouTube, cancelled his own reality show, as well as him getting demonetized, because from making jokes about using racial slurs, and hiring two men from Fiverr to hold a sign that says very controversial things. Pewdiepie has done everything that can get him banished to the Shadow Realms forever. Last year, a clip of him went viral where it looked like he was making fun of a deaf black woman. And as the clip blew up, so did people's minds, as they were shocked by his strange, insensitive behavior.
Well, I was at a drive-thru and they have like the people where they stand outside and they take your order before you go up to like the window. So I pull up and I roll my window down, and this lady, when I...
No. I'm not listening to this. Look, she has your crazy nails, man.
So anyway, what I did was, I went outside and then I peed and then I pooped a little bit as well, and it was crazy. Sorry, are my nails distracting you guys?
The girl from the actual video, Scarlett May, who has a big following on TikTok, posted a response. But she didn't realize that PewDiePie wasn't actually making fun of her. The clip he made fun of was one of the many clips in a compilation of cringe TikToks that he just simply reacted to. The video was titled, "My Dog Cringes at TikToks," and throughout the video, he seemed to make fun of every single clip, including hers, without even knowing that she's deaf. Well, once he realized it later, he took down the video, he edited that part out, and then re-uploaded it. And he then said he had no clue that she was deaf, but it was kind of dumb of him to not realize. Still, watching through the clip, he only poked fun at her long nails. The voice he did for his dog is the same voice he's been doing for years. However, he forgot to change the video's thumbnail, which still showcased the picture of May. And thus came the tweets and Reddit threads, where he was torn apart by a lot of people. He got flack from the disabled community, as well as the African American community, for being a racist ableist with an awful sense of humor, according to them. But in a comment posted shortly after May's video, she acknowledged that PewDiePie did eventually take her completely out of the video. She made a post by saying, "Good way to own up to things. We all make mistakes and hopefully he learns from this." Now, all of these stories have one thing in common. According to a study made by the European Center for Research Training and Development, if there's any drama that makes people feel like their lives mean something, then they're most likely to get involved in it. And according to Benford's law, the less facts people know and agree upon, the more controversy there is, and the more is known, the less controversy there is. This explains why audiences are drawn to the controversies and dramas surrounding online content creators, because from all of these YouTubers, you'll see a common trend. Each one of them does something that gets taken out of context, and then they're scrutinized and cancelled unless they address it directly and make an apology. Because people love being a part of a movement that gives their life a meaning, even if it's at the expense of an innocent, out of context clip.